For more than a decade, Lauren Jackson's been a trailblazer for Australian basketball and, for that matter, women's sport in the country. Jackson's back home and will once again play for her beloved Canberra Capitals in the WNBL. She's due to return to the court next week after struggling for months with hamstring and back problems. In this wide-ranging interview with the ABC's Tim Gavel, Jackson admits injuries have forced her to consider her future. But the 31-year-old says she'd like to compete in her 5th Olympics in Rio if her body holds up.
Well, Lauren, the comeback's been delayed for a week. Just how frustrating is it for you?
It's really frustrating. Like any injury, it's just one of those things that, I have to get right before I push on.
Do you feel as though it is close, or it's been something that's been going on for a while though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been going on for a long time, and I think, at this point in time, it's just making sure, I know that when I come back, there's still going to be, a little bit of pain there and everything, but it's more the fact that how I pull up. If I pull up feeling more pain the next day and sort of regressing rather than moving forward, we don't want that, because it doesn't, obviously, I don't want to get back to where I was.
You've been putting your body through enormous work though, haven't you? You've been playing non-stop since May last year.
Yeah, it's been a very long, May last year, and then I had surgery on my hip, my left hip, and then since then I tried to rush my comeback so I could get back for the playoffs in the WNBA, and since then I've had a few problems in that area, so it's just a matter now of getting everything stronger and getting everything right so that, I don't have to worry or deal with this injury or these issues again.
Do you feel pressure to come back? I mean, there is this expectation that you're coming back to play in the WNBL. Do you feel that pressure?
I think a lot of the pressure is my own. I think for me at the moment, I desperately want to get out there and play. I've had a great run, I've had a great career, and at the moment it's just like working off court. It's not the same as being on court, it's not the same as competing, and Canberra's my home for basketball, and I want more than anything to be out there at this point, but I don't want to be out there and only able to give 20% of what I'm capable of.
And you're keen to play in the WNBL too, aren't you? It seems to be your natural home, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I grew up with the WNBL, and that sort of started my career in the way that it was going, and I definitely want to be out there. It's my home. I get to play in Australia and in front of all the Australian fans, which is very important to me.
Have you thought how long you can keep playing basketball at this level for?
Well, I think that once I get through this injury, I probably will be able to go a few more years. I think I'm going to give it everything I've got until I'm 35, and then after that I will reevaluate.
Have you thought about Rio? Thinking, well, if I keep going for a few more years, there's the Olympic Games again?
Yeah, well, I've been hesitant to say yes, purely based on the fact that I have this injury and I've had it for, since June. So at this point, it's a matter of getting this right and getting my body right. And, like 2 years ago when I did my back, I wasn't sure I was going to go to this Olympics. So once I get this right, I will feel a lot better about saying yes, I'm going to go to Rio.
A lot of people look at athletes and they think, what a star-studded life they lead, but the reality is that it can be quite painstaking at times, a lot of time in rehab, especially with injuries like you've got.
Yeah, well, I've been playing professionally and playing year-round my whole career. I mean, I don't really think I've actually had a holiday. I think the only holidays I've ever had have been because I've been injured and I've been rehabbing, so they're sort of the only breaks I've had, which is, it takes its toll mentally, but it also shows you how much I love the sport. It's something that's given me so much joy over the years. The injuries obviously they're the price you pay for being an athlete and giving your career and your life to that. And, I'm not ready to call it quits just yet, but I need to get this thing right.
Is it getting you down?
Yeah, a little bit at the moment, but the sun's shining, we're alive and living in this beautiful country. I really can't complain all that much.
How do you keep going then? What do you look forward to goals? Do you set yourself goals so that you don't get down by what's happening now?
Absolutely. I think today, I was sitting in physio and I sort of said to Wardy, I think I had a few tears in my eyes, and I looked at him and I said, I think I've been through worse than this. I have. And then we sort of looked at each other and I came here, and it was just one of those moments where, it gets you down, it's your life, but at least I know that I'm going to be better coming back from this. And so the goals I set myself moving forward are obviously to come back stronger and fitter and healthier, ready to take on the world again.
You're still highly motivated to play basketball? Do you feel that urge all the time and that excitement?
I think the injuries definitely motivate me to get better and to get stronger and to prove that you can do anything. And I mean, look, I'm not old yet. I'm not over the hill quite yet. But I need to manage this so that when I get back, I'm better than I've been.
Watching the WNBL and watching some of the young players coming through, does that excite you with the likes of Liz Cambridge and those sort of players? Does that get you going a little bit?
It is exciting. I think, someone like Liz, some of the young guys that are coming through are very exciting. They're just, it's a different time too, with social media and, all the other things external from basketball. It just makes her and a lot of the young guys larger than life, and I think that's a really great thing for sport. I think it's amazing for sport. There's a lot more accessibility to players, and then obviously when you get to watch them, they're, Liz is dunking in Olympic Games, things that they're doing, it's just crazy, and it's awesome to watch, and they're Australian.
How do you cope with the pressure? How do you cope with people coming up to you all the time and wanting you to do well and wanting a piece of you? How do you cope with that?
I think for a long time I've sort of been in a situation where, people sort of, want a lot, which is fine, I get paid well, I get paid to do my job. But I think at the end of the day, I'm like everybody else, I feel it for sure. But I'm very fortunate that I have my mother and my father because they sort of take the brunt of it. I think that I'm not sure how they deal with it because they get it from me. I sort of get the pressure and I pass it on. They're my sounding boards. Without them, I don't know if I'd still be playing. I think I may have had a nervous breakdown if they had not been around.
Is there a temptation to go and hide for a while and not be Lauren Jackson?
Yeah, I definitely have that personality where I would love to just run and jump in the shell, but I can't. I think that's... If I do that, then I'm running away, and I don't need to run away from anything. I've got a great career. I've got a great life. I can't afford to sort of give up on my goals and what motivates me.
Is that one of the reasons why you decided to play in Europe? You played with Valencia in Spain, you've played in Moscow, just to get away from Australia and away from America, just away from the fishbowl to a certain degree?
Not at all. If the money had been as amazing as it was in Europe, and I hate to say it, but if I could have earned that sort of money here in Australia, I would have stayed, no doubt. I would have played every year here. But you go those places, I got paid very well, and hopefully that'll set me up for life. And that's sort of, in a career that's this short, you need to make the most of it while you have it. And I was very fortunate to know Shabtai in Russia. He sort of looked after me for a few years over there, and then Spain was a great experience too. And we were very successful too.
You've started planning for the future in terms of your studies, haven't you? You want to become an advocate for women's rights?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm doing my degree in gender studies. I'm a patron for the New South Wales Rape Crisis Centre. So, obviously I'm learning a lot through them and doing a lot of, obviously trying to promote awareness, and then obviously get funding from the government and things like that. And that's sort of where I want to go in terms of lobbying. I don't think I'd ever be a counsellor. I'm not quite sure I have the ability to do what the counsellors do. They're unbelievable. But yeah, I would hold on to all that. So
you feel you need to be involved in something post-basketball, don't you?
Yeah, well, that's where I'm going. It's straight into that direction. So, with women's rights, equality, gender equality. And I think, having my experience in sport, and the issues that arise with gender in sport there is a very big gap between women and men in sport, especially here in Australia, especially in America. So, that's what I'm going to forge forward for. Try and promote women. We're great.
With the studies that you're doing, are you finding out stuff that you didn't realise was happening? Because you are on this pedestal and I guess you're treated differently to a certain degree. Is it a bit of an eye-opener for you?
Absolutely. I think the experiences that I've had since I've gone or started on this path have opened my eyes well and truly. I definitely have been, like I said, sheltered and protected because of my status in sport, in basketball. But learning what I've learned and seeing what I've seen has definitely been an eye-opener and made me want to commit myself more to that area of work, especially leading toward my retirement.
What about basketball? Post your basketball playing career, can you envisage that you'll be involved in the sport?
I imagine I'll be involved in some capacity. I can't say I'll ever be a coach, maybe under 10s and under 12s in Canberra or Albury, but I'm not sure. I will be in some capacity involved, whether that's through BA, Basketball Australia or not. I do not know, but I know that I'll be there somewhere.
Can't wait to see you back on the court, Lauren. Thank you very much for your time
Thank you
today.
very much.
Thank you.